Okay, here we are in my car. Just getting ready to do some Uber tonight. Just a little bit of advice. I got my flashlight here because not enough light in the car. Without the flashlight, that's what you get. With the flashlight, at least you can see me a little bit here. So I don't know the best angle. Anyways, I'm getting ready to drive. It's 11:04 p.m. Just a couple little advice for people who use Uber and they put their address in, especially a lot of tourists who may not know Montreal. I pick up a lot of tourists, Boston, New York, California, different places from the States mostly. They may not know French that well, and so when you put your address in wherever you're going in Montreal, Montreal is divided in east and west. So you could be on St. Catherine Street. Let's say you're going to 234 St. Catherine Street. We have to add to your address, either it's 234 East St. Catherine Street or 234 West St. Catherine Street, because otherwise you'll get dropped off at the wrong place, like it's happened to some people I picked up the other night, and a bunch of girls. I think there were 3 or 4 girls, and with all their suitcases, and they come from the airport, and so they put an address on Maisonneuve, which is also a street that runs east and west, like St. Catherine's runs east and west, and they were dropped off in the west side that had nowhere near where they were going to their Airbnb. So they were stuck there, so they had to call another Uber, which happened to be me, and that's what I said. Did you do your east and west, because their address was really in the east and they were dropped off in the west. So it's happened, they're not the only ones. So it's a little bit of advice when you come to Montreal and you plug in your address of where you're going. Put in the east and west. And also it's good to put in the zip code, because I also picked up some other people once who had to bring them home after a wedding reunion somewhere. And they were also visiting. They came for one of their family or friends' weddings. And I brought them to another part of the city. It was the exact same address, like 18th Avenue. But they're like, Montreal's got all these different sections, so you want to put in like you want to put in the zip code, what they call the postal code here. Put that in, or put the name of the section of Montreal, because there's like many areas in Montreal that have the same name, but they're in a different section of the city. So it was unfortunate. I brought these people to their address. Like they get there, goes like, this is nothing like what we're looking at, where we're staying, but the address has to bother them because they didn't put in the zip code or the section of the city. You can't go wrong with the zip code. Right away, it cuts the city down to an area. There's not going to be 2 streets with the same address in one zip code area, at least not that I know of. So anyways, the basic thing to remember here is put in the east and west. That's number 1 for all the streets that run east and west. St. Lawrence runs north and south. It divides the city in 2. Once you get to St. Lawrence Street, everything to the east starts at 0 and works up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 8. And same thing to the west. You're on St. Lawrence Street, you go west on the same street, and it has the same number as if you're going east, but you have to put the letter west. Or in French, they just have the letter O, because west in French, remember here, it's a bilingual city, so there's a lot of things that are Franglish, So you'll have an address with an O at the end. O means west, because west is spelled in French O-U-E-S-T. And east is spelled E-S-T only. So you got west as an O-U-E-S-T, and east is just E-S-T. Or you can just put the letter. If you're going to the west, you put the letter O, like 234 St. Catherine Street, O. Or 234 St. Catherine Street, E. E like an elephant. It's another confusing thing. You hear people talk, because the letter E, like elephant, is pronounced E, and the letter I, like Ignatius, is pronounced E. So that's a little basic lesson, because the letter E in French there's several pronunciations for it. Depends if there's an accent. But the letter I, it sounds like an English E. So it can be confusing, and you don't want to be dropped off somewhere you don't have to go, or you don't have to pay double fare because you got brought to a place that is not your destination. So just a little advice here from Montreal to help you out, anybody coming here, because our joy is to bring you to the right place right away so you can get to where you're going and we can move on to our next passenger. And it's good to know. I'll tell you another story about that too, someone else I met. But right now I'm going to start my Uber for tonight. 11:09. My car's warmed up at least enough for the motor. The little blue light that tells you your motor's warm enough is off now. So I'm going to publish this video as soon as possible. So have a great night if you happen to be at night when you see this, or have a great day. But if you're coming to Montreal, which is a great city, don't forget to put your complete address, and don't get taken away by some of these addresses pop up. You go, that's my address, you hit on it. No, type in your address, because there's so many addresses that are similar. Make sure you get yours right, and that way you're going to get to your destination, you're going to be happy, and you won't be standing in the freezing cold on the street trying to figure out what's going on. And you won't, anyways, check y'all later. Let me get some light on there. I'd wave my hand, but my flashlight's got my hand there in my other hand, so I'll wave my flashlight a little bit. Good night, God bless. And I got some really good advice. I'm going to start publishing a few YouTubes that help people coming to Montreal. Restaurants, things to see, places to go. Au revoir, that means goodbye. And à bientôt, until see you soon. Bye-bye.